We're down at the Improv here in West Palm Beach, and we're here with Jim Norton. Jim, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
How's your trip down to Florida? Is this your first time performing in West Palm Beach?
Yes. I was in Boca Raton years ago, but this is the first time in West Palm. It's good.
Have you been out and about West Palm? It's mostly people from New York, mostly people from Boston that's moved down here, retired down here. So do you feel a little bit at home? Or?
Yeah, it's a great place to come if you want to get blown by a 90-year-old. This is the part of the country you want to be in. I guess they're going to have to beep that. So let's just say if you want from a 90-year-old, this is the place to be. If you want to fuck someone and shatter their hip, come down to Boca or fucking West Palm, wherever we are. Shitty part of the country.
Now, you're a regular on Tough Crowd. How's that going?
Great. I just got called. I'm doing it Tuesday again. Colin gives me at least one a week, sometimes two. It's great. It's going really well. I'm just hoping the show lasts, because it's nice to finally have a place on TV to say whatever the fuck you want. And they're great for that. They let you do whatever you want.
How's the response been with Tough Crowd? Because a lot of people, sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. It's a lot of hit and miss stuff. Maybe you'll catch it on a good night or bad night. Are you getting a lot of good feedback from it?
Yeah, because every show starts off like that. Like Seinfeld was in the toilet. And Seinfeld would never make it today because it would be so low rated. They didn't give shows, they don't give shows a chance anymore. You know what I mean? So if you went by the ratings the first year of Seinfeld, it never would have lasted. So the feedback has been very good. Some people hate the show, some people love it, and that's what I want. Love it or you hate it. That's it. That's the type of reaction you want. You don't want mediocrity, like, I don't know. People think it's great or they think it blows. But I think it'll stay on. Hopefully. Now,
it's interesting you brought up Seinfeld. A lot of cringe humor now is starting to hit a lot of the mainstream, more so than your traditional acts of unoffensive humor. But you're starting to see a lot of the breakthrough people, yourself, Dave Attell, Colin, but a lot of that clean stuff starting to be pushed to the side for more reality-based comedy.
Well, it just seems like people go where the numbers are, man, and it's almost like that cutesy shit. Clean is fine. Seinfeld's a good comic, but all that cutesy awfulness that they're showing on television, it's got to run its course already. You know, it's when you look at The Sopranos, look at Oz. Every time the fucking advertisers don't have their greedy little dick beaters involved with the creative process, the shows are a hit. Curb Your Enthusiasm, it's a hit. The Larry Sanders Show, it's a hit, because the fucking advertisers can't sink their meat hooks in and dictate what your content is. That's the problem with network TV. All their shows are going into the toilet because they can't be funny. They're castrated and their hands are tied. So anytime, that's why I think certain edgy humor is coming back, because the pendulum has swung so far to that cutesy, awful humor that it's just got to swing back the other way now, a little bit.
Doing a show like Tough Crowd where, like you said, you're getting maybe 1 or 2 shots a week, coming up with new material, does that kind of put a cramp on touring nationally like most comedians usually do?
It kind of, well, it hurts with flights because you have to build your flights around. The show is more important to me than any gig, because the gigs you can always do. So I try to book my flights around the show. It makes it a little harder to go out and tour, but the weekends I'm still available for gigs. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so, you know, I mean, it's possible to work. Can we still hear with this fucking awful 80s scent of a woman music in the background? Jesus.
Now, I heard a while ago you were down maybe in the Orlando area or something, working on a CD?
Not in Orlando. No, Opie was in Orlando visiting family, and he had my CD. I have 5 sets taped to the Stress Factory, and I was fucking talking to him again. I'm like, dude, when are we going to do this? As soon as I get back on Monday, we're going to work on it next week, because he was away. He was in L.A. The next week, we're going to really get to work on editing it. We're going to go up to Boston and finish it.
All right, Opie has a big hand in developing your CD, producing it?
Yeah, Opie's going to produce it for me. He just wants something to keep him busy. We've been talking about this since November. He came to Dallas with me just to hang. And then he came to San Francisco just to hang. We've been going on the road a lot because he's bored. And I don't see as much, unfortunately. I just see it like once a month because he's busy getting laid.
Heard he's turned kind of a hermit. If he's not like in the Caribbean or playing with his brother, he's at home with video games.
That's what he does. Anthony has always been a hermit, though. It's cool. That's his vibe, you know. Whatever makes him so brilliantly funny. I don't care if he fucks kids. As a matter of fact, share them. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So the CD's in the works. When can we expect it?
Hopefully within 2 months. I'm so lazy, man. I gotta get done. I should have done this while Opie and Anthony was on the air. I would have been able to sell more of them, but I have no business sense at all. But it's got to be done over the summer sometime, because I want to get it done before I start doing cities like Philadelphia, New York. I might be doing some off-Broadway thing in New York starting September. So I definitely want to have it by then. I want to go back up to Boston, Cleveland again, all the cities.
Some comedians don't put out CDs, like just because they just don't like to do it. Dave Attell being one of them. Funny guy, but now we finally put one out to kind of cross-promote Insomniac. Was there a delay or a reason why you didn't want to do a CD at first?
Now that I have enough material, like a lot of the material, you don't want to do a CD and then have your live performances suffer because everybody's seen your shit or heard it. So there's one bootleg copy floating around on the net, but I don't want all my material to be burned. That's why I didn't do my Comedy Central special, because I wanted my live appearances to be fresh. But now that I have a lot more material, it's like, okay, now I could do that hour on the CD or 45 minutes on the CD, and people will still see a new 20 to 25 minutes when they come see me live. I don't want them to see the exact same thing they just heard.
What about comedians that do that? I'm a big Brian Regan fan, but if you see him live, it's the same act over. There's certain comedians that do that.
Yeah, or Rich Voss. Yeah, it's gonna happen sometimes. It's like, but Regan has a couple of different sets he can do, but there's only so much material you're gonna be able to create. You know what I mean? Because you're not getting the same people every time. But you do have to, like, look at Carlin, how prolific he is, man. That's why I love George Carlin. He got a new hour every year and a half. The guy's a genius. Regan's a great comic, though, man. I mean, every time I've seen him, there's always been something different, but I haven't seen him in years.
You do a lot with Dice. Will Dice have any presence on your CD?
Probably not. I mean, other than I would love him to, because it would sell more copies. But you know, I'm doing the Bad Boy shows with him and Jim Florentine. We go out in Vegas. Actually, I just got my airline information today, so I go back out at the end of May. We do 2 shows. Every other month, I think we're doing it, and he wants to take it on the road. Like me, Florentine, him. Just so he doesn't have to do an hour and a half on stage. He can go up and do 45 minutes and fuck around and have a good time. And this guy, Sebastian from L.A. It's fun. 15 minutes I got to do. It's great.
What's it like touring with Dice? Like, what is actually traveling and behind the scenes with him?
Dice is like a 3-year-old. He likes to be mothered. He's the biggest baby. And he loves when I tell people that's good as the truth. He wants like little teas with the fucking honey in them. He's a big baby. He's not the tough guy at all. He likes to shop and be doted on and pampered. He doesn't bang chicks. He's faithful to his wife. It drives me nuts. Because I'm like going on the road with Dice. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be fucking strippers every night. And all he wants to do is go back to the room and have a creme brulee. It's awful. He's like the nicest guy on earth. It's like, dude, on stage, he's such a piece of shit. And off stage, he wants to call his sons and make sure they're okay. He's like the nicest guy, man. But he's a great guy to be on. He's silly. I think most people don't know how funny he is because they hear, but they never see the silly fucker that he really is off stage. He makes me laugh harder off stage than almost anybody I've ever met. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever known.
Is there an example of something he's done?
Just begging people for free things in stores. He'll get on his hands and knees and start begging for free merchandise, and they're really embarrassed because they know this is Andrew Dice Clay, and he's making a scene. He's like, please give me something for free. For the love of God, please, just something. And he's really embarrassing these people. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. As long as his friends are having a good time, he's very childish. So that I like. Club Soda Kenny, I used to love. You know, Club Soda Kenny was Dice's bodyguard. He's 6'5". He's a judo black belt. He's a fucking animal. He's a killer. We used to do this thing. We'd go into Starbucks, and I would talk out of turn, and Kenny would slap me in my face in front of anybody, and that was really great because people would look at this big man slapping a little man, and it was nice. You know, people are really uncomfortable with a larger man slapping a little fella.
You said you don't like network television, but you like what the cable does, Comedy Central, HBO. Would you do a show something similar to like Insomniac, where you get to travel around the country, search for interesting prostitutes and brothels?
I might as well. I do it now with no camera. I mean, I was in Rio de Janeiro for the sole purpose of sinking my dick into any hole that didn't have barbed wire around it. I traveled to a poverty-stricken country to fuck their poor women. I'm a piece of shit, folks. I wouldn't want to do anything like Dave does because Dave is so brilliant and he's such a great comic. It's like I don't want to step on anything he does, but I would like to do something. It's not that networks are bad. There's a lot of gifted people writing for networks, but even a lot of the funny ones can't be funny because they've been castrated. Nothing a little AZT won't take care of. Give me those ribs, young man. What was I just saying? The networks. There's a lot of good network people, but they turn this shitty music up even louder. Every time I hear music like this, I want to blow someone through a hole in the wall. I had to get a peep booth joke in. I'm really finished.
Where's your favorite place to pick up women?
Favorite place to pick up women? Now it's Rio, dude. I swear to God. I went out with Rich Voss, Patrice O'Neill, and a couple other guys, and it was Rio. It was fucking phenomenal. But New York I do well in because there's such a cross-section of people there. And some of them are transgender. Hey, who's looking?
Do you like the new reality program that's taken over sitcoms, things like that?
It's a disgrace. I know why it's there because I addressed this in my act, but because the sitcoms are so bad that they need some type of programming. But I don't like reality TV at all. I mean, the Osbournes I love because to me it's such a great. I mean, I'm an Ozzy fanatic, so of course I'm very biased. But I think it's all shit, man. It's all shit. Richard Pryor, the greatest comic ever, they gave him 4 episodes and he finally walked away because they destroyed him so badly. They censored him so badly that he had to walk away in the 70s. So it's not a new problem. You know, this has been going on since Time Out of Mind. You know, when All in the Family first came on, they were nervous about it. They had like a little disclaimer they gave, you know, like fucking networks have always been babies.
So are you a fan maybe of like American Idol, or is World's Most Talented Kids more your scene?
Well, if I'm gonna masturbate, the World's Most Talented Kids would have to be it, because some of those young Filipinos are svelte. You know, washboard abs on the young Asian boy. Just hope he doesn't sneeze on me. Wink, wink. Nah, it's fucking, you know, it's like I don't like any of those shows. American Idol is good for what it is. I hate Simon. I hate him because he's a phony. He's going into the guise of being honest and cutting edge, but he's a fucking cunt, and he attacks 17-year-olds instead of attacking, you know, anybody who can really do any damage. Do you understand? They don't attack Hollywood elite. They attack nobodies, and that's considered cutting edge, and it's garbage. But I'm rooting for the guy who's the Marine to win. He won't. Justin, is he still? Joshua Grayson, is he still in it?
He got kicked out like a day or two ago.
Oh, did he really? I guess after the war's over, the fucking patriotism goes into the toilet. All right, whatever.
Do you watch the war at all?
Yeah, and we did exactly what I expected us to do. I don't mind anti-war protesters. That's your constitutional right. But where are these motherfuckers that when they said it was going to be a long bloodbath? It's over, stupid asses. Where's everybody coming out and saying, wow, we really were dumb and ill-informed. It took 3 weeks. A girl could have her period, and by the time she got her next period, the war was over. You know, they had a Vietnam happening. Oh my God, it's going to be a fucking bloodbath, you jackasses. Fucking love Bush. He really terrifies the Middle East. People think that he's the revelation. I love him. They're horrified of Bush. Oh, they hate him.
You're gonna have to touch on this just a tiny bit. Thoughts about Opie and Anthony? How bad has it affected you since their cancellation?
Well, I had to have the fucking window guards put back on my 22nd floor apartment because I wanted to jump. It's been awful. Because I've done a lot of radio since that. This is I'm having fun with you. Because you're a real guy. But you do radio on the road, man. Some of them are great, and a lot of them are, okay, Jim Norton's a funny guy. It's like, you schlocky jizzbag, go fuck yourself. Man, I told this to Opie today. I'm like, dude, the more I'm away from O&A, the more I appreciate the fun I had on that show. First place in my career that ever encouraged me just to be who I am and to fucking be open and honest, as long as the FCC wasn't violated. So I love Opie and Anthony for that. And Opie's one of my best friends. Anthony's fucking comedically brilliant. I mean, you know, it's like, I miss those guys a lot. Every time I see Ant, I want to cry, because I don't see him that much. I see him once a month, and it just reminds me of how much I fucking miss being a part of that show, man. It was a fucking... You don't realize it until, as corny as this is, until you're doing other radio shows, and you're like, God, O&A would have a field day with this, and these little faggots are terrified of offending someone. Oh, God, do I miss those guys, man.
We're all big fans of Opie and Anthony, especially some of us being from New York. And there's certain things in the news when you saw the Lacey Peterson body coming up and the war and there's so many key things like, damn, Anthony could maybe do a good Tom Brokaw on this or something good. And you just don't get that in radio anymore, especially with certain companies homogenizing the markets where every station sounds the same in every single market.
Dude, we missed the snipers. I was leaking clear stuff. Every day they were picking off some fat white lady. I'm like, oh my, we could have had a fucking field day with that, man. Just, especially when they arrested him, it was 2 black guys in a car. Oh, it's like you missed a lot of shit. The war, we missed that. There's been so much. All these TV shows, Joe Millionaire, we would have had a field day with them, man. But, we'll have to wait till they come back. I don't know when they're going to be back on, but it's very, very frustrating waiting.
Being in radio, I think that whole incident was a big slap in the face as far as how far you can actually go with your show. Not just a matter of, you don't want to offend somebody. Just content where you can relate to people and talk to people just on a normal level, not have to bullshit morning zoo kind of crap like that. Were they made an example of for something that wasn't too big a deal?
Absolutely, and it's amazing. The same company that made them get taken off the air is the same company that owns MTV, who welcomed Michael Jackson with a standing ovation. And this is the guy who allegedly paid off to have $20 million to have child molestation stuff go quietly. He's allegedly a pedophile, which is like saying Jupiter is allegedly a planet. But it doesn't matter. If you're a musician, man, you can get away with anything. But the bottom line, it was the wrong place. It was a stupid thing. Even in the implication that you're doing that in St. Pat, it was a dumb thing, man. But it shouldn't ruin their careers. 8 months, it's fucking long enough. They've paid the price. I understand yanking them. I really do, to a certain degree. So you got to punish somebody. But 8 months, it's like, come on, man. They're just trying to hurt them because they're afraid of what the Catholic League's going to do. It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Last 2 things. One, the return. How do you expect the return to be welcomed by the public?
It will be welcomed phenomenally well because they didn't fade away. It's not like they died out and the ratings sucked. They were destroying everywhere and they were yanked. And everyone knows why they were yanked. So I really do believe that they'll come back. And the only advantage to it, if you got to, take lemons and make lemonade, is that a lot of people who didn't know them will know them now. Because, oh yeah, that thing. They made the news in Johannesburg, South Africa. We made the news all over the world. But it wasn't intended to make the news all over the world. They never should have been off the air this long. It's fucking disgraceful.
They'll be the biggest name in radio once they come back.
Yeah, I mean, Stern is going to be very hard to overthrow, but they will have that name recognition, which is phenomenal. You know what I mean? I mean, Howard is so entrenched, and obviously the 2 shows didn't get along and whatever. That has nothing to do with, anything that happened with St. Pat's. But their recognition really went up, and it wasn't even done for that. It's like the fucking media fueled it so much because there was nothing else going on in August. They could have put them back on while the war was going on, man. Enough already.
Will you return to the show when it comes back?
Yes, I will. Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's no reason I wouldn't. I'm still in constant contact with those guys. I see them all. I'll see Opie Monday or Tuesday as soon as I get back. Ant came with his girlfriend to the show last week. We're in constant touch. We all know it's just a matter of when it comes back.
Finally, anything you want to promote, events, before we get out of here?
Dude, eatabullet.com. Watch Colin Quinn's Tough Crowd, man. That's all. I want Colin's show to succeed. Colin's a brilliant comic, and it's nice to see him getting a shot on TV, and he's putting his friends on, me and Keith Robinson and Geraldo and Nick DiPaolo. Fucking Colin is great, man. I mean, what kind of guy gets a show and puts all his buddies on I mean, he wants us to do the job, but it's like, what a fucking guy. What a guy. What am I, 1940s? What a guy. I suck.
Jim, thank you very much. Have a good show here at the West Palm Improv.
Thank you, man. The crowds have been great so far, so I'm actually enjoying my time down here. Thank you.